Countdown clock on the overlay. Test scrolling fast, can't read a thing. Got my day ones, got some new names, all riding in on this pixel wave. Scene switch quick, that raid just hit. Hype train glow with the stickers lit. I say, yo, fam, this our year. You spam those scenes, fill the screen in hell. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every fall like a firework blow from the VODs to the live.
No, that was embarrassing.
Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the let's watch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. Take that shot when the timer drops. Hit go live and the beat just pops. Got bad jokes and my best friends, turning quiet nights into wild weekends. Pull up chairs in a digital room. Turn that late night scroll to a full-on boom. I say 3, 2, 1, let's ride. You flood the screen, all caps in the sky. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every fall like a firework blow. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud. We're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the lurch watch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. Type it out, let me see those hands in the chat all across the lands. From the small screens glow to the massive dreams, we're building this brick by brick as a team. New year, same crew, new place to own. New clips, new bits, new inside jokes. Turn it up till the neighbors know. Steve's very own, let the whole world know. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. Every follow like a firework blown. From the VODs to the live shows, oh, we're loud. We're here, we're home. Rocking in the new year on Steve's very own. From the let's watch to the chat full blown. If you're in this stream, you're never alone. We're loud, we're here, we're home. 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 Click on the stream, light the spark. Steve's very own, tearing through the dark. Boom, my fingers on the keys. Old school rhythm, bend in the breeze. Building his world one clip at a time. Pixel by pixel, climbing the climb. No map, no guide, just the screen's glow. Steve very own and the show. Hey chat, you there? Hey chat, who cares? Steve's very own. Breaking the code. He's got the fire. Riding the load. Steve's very own. The crowd's his home. Streaming his soul into the unknown. Gamepad shaking, voice alive. Every moment's fight or survive. Boomers laugh.
Did you see it? Did you see what? Wow, we. Well, Jan didn't believe in showing affection, so sometimes I don't know how to react when I'm going to this. I like it.
Late night tunes, Steve's anthem under the moon. Steve's very own.
What up, gamer?
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Hopefully, everything sounds okay. We're on the Linux system today because I've set up some new redeems and uh, I haven't had a chance to do it on my Windows side yet. It gets kind of hard trying to keep up with two streaming systems. Um, I don't need everything to work the same on each platform, but my redeems commands in that reflect that. So I have to update that. I fixed or fixed and changed up my Polaroid scene or Polaroid action. If you take a Polaroid shot, if you do uh, exclamation command mark. Well, it's Sunday. What can I say? Coffee haven't affected me yet. Exclamation mark, and then the command is Polaroid, right? And then I was working on my robot Zap um, scene. Haven't been able to get those over to Windows and that. So, how's your week going? It's been a very interesting week, at least weather-wise. We had lots of storms this week in the 70s, and then this weekend, nice and sunny and a high of 47. April, not much you can do. Gonna need to mow my lawn though, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get out there today. If not, I'll be doing it tomorrow for sure. I gotta charge up my trimmer, my edger, get that going. I have a loud, powerful Honda lawnmower. It's still going strong. I didn't do anything with it this year as far as winterizing it or that. Um, let's get some music on the Twitch side going again. If you're on YouTube, you're not gonna hear any music, but you will on the Twitch side. Let's see. I don't know. Let's start out with some happy alt rock, whatever. So, yes, the Honda is. I will. I just didn't do any winterizing this year, and I've done that before, and it still starts on the first pull. It is a pretty good motor, but loud, very loud. Told my wife when this thing goes, we'll probably go to an electric one. My neighbor's got one. What a couple years ago, I'm like, I'm hearing this noise and it sounds like a remote control car. And I'm like, when did my neighbor get into remote controls? I don't see him. I could see him. I mean, he's a cigar smoker, right? I could see him with the control. No, it's his lawnmower. He's got and it's really quiet. You'll just kind of hear the Honda is very loud. Even with headsets on there, I got to play the music a little bit too loud or my podcast a little bit too loud if I'm listening to something while I'm mowing the lawn. But a good, powerful engine in that. I used to like to get lawnmowers with American-made Briggs and Stratton engine, and the engine would go pretty while, but the frames, like we had a oh, I forget what model it was. The frame cracked. Um, but I don't have a huge piece of property, but got enough, you know. Um, my brother-in-law says, "Why don't you just get one of those push mowers?" Well, he's got a piece of property that's 3/4 my size, or half my size, or a quarter of my size. He pretty much, his whole backyard is cement and stone, and then his front yard is just like 10 by 10, so he can use a push mower, you know. And when I'm talking about the push mower, the one that as you push it, you power it, right? It takes me about 45 minutes to cut my lawn, you know. Um, so how's your spring going with your lawns and that? I know some parts of the world, like my friend in Australia, he's gonna be starting into his winter. So it's changing, and that, you know, so the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere is going into spring, leading into summer. But yeah, lots of storms this week. Surprised the internet didn't go out, although I woke up yesterday morning and we had no internet, and it always figures it's like during the worst of storms it doesn't go down, and then afterwards it goes down when the storm has passed. Well, it's probably hitting some other points where it stops the internet. But basically, there was no outage. For some reason, I had to reboot my modem, and then we were up and running. But lots of showers bring May flowers, right? So, um, and then during the week, my wife and I started watching. We like to watch a lot of detective, you know, especially the English type mysteries and detective shows and that. And we started watching. It's the first season of Bookish, uh, written and created by Mark Gatiss, who did a lot with Doctor Who, and then he was the power behind the Sherlock series with Benedict Cumberbatch. And he's a post World War II bookshop owner in London who is gay, and he's married though to kind of avert suspicions, but most people kind of think about it. So it's a little quirky. It deals with that kind of the attitude of the gay population and that. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I think it's really well written. Mark Gatiss is pretty clever and that, but he's very book learned, and he's like a detective. You know, he's got a special letter from Winston Churchill allowing him to do stuff. I don't understand that, but so far we're enjoying it. We like the quirky stuff. Like we watch Professor T. Uh, that's really good, and we're waiting for, was it season 5 to be released on DVD, and um, there's quite a few others. Pleasance, about a young lady that has autism that works in a London police department as a uh, office clerk, but has a um, skill set for deduction. like I said, we like the quirky ones, the real quirky shows, because like Professor T, he's probably he's OCD on a spectrum, and that um, we tend to lean towards those because our son is on the spectrum, uh, and it's interesting, as long as they don't make a real joke of those situations because they're not always funny. They do get kind of serious, and that we are fine with it. And then I'm watching. I've been binging on rewatching the Battlestar Galactica from 2004, with Katie Sackhoff as Starbuck. And I'm on season 4 now, the final season. Um, it's real weird. Season 1 is on a complete DVD set. Then season 2 is split up into two and 2.5, they call it, like 10 episodes on one. I think it's the way they might have released and recorded it when it was, or recorded and released it on Sci-Fi and that at the time. Then season 3 is a complete 20 episode discs set. And then season 4, it's 4.0 and 4.5. So I just finished 4.0 on that. I think the special effects hold up pretty well. There are some scenes where the Cylon robots don't look as good, or if they blow up, you can kind of see the special effects not working well. But all in all the space scenes and all that, I think it's 20. So it's 20, came out in 2004 as a special. I think it then series started in 2005. So it's over 20 years old when it first came out. 2020, yeah, 24 years old or so now. And it holds up pretty well. I don't really remember. I think towards the end, because Sci-Fi, the network was really screwing around with when they broadcast it, that I missed a lot of episodes. But Katie Sackhoff has been doing with her husband, because she starred in it, but she never really watched any of the episodes. So she's doing what a lot of former show members on shows like Smallville, they're doing Talkville. Um, a lot of these TV shows that that are having podcasts about them. So they're doing reviews with them and their reactions to them. But there were actually a lot of good actors that showed up in Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. I mean, outside of, you had Edward James Olmos, as Adama. Katie Sackhoff was relatively new. She starred in some things, but nothing big. She was in a couple of TV shows and that. Jamie Bamber was, he's English, and the dude that plays Baltar, he's also English. Guy is Baltar. And Trisha Helfner was a kind of like a model. But throughout the series, there were quite a few actresses that showed up on there that did a bit part for it. And I picked that out now. Um, so that's what I've been watching, and I know last Sunday, the Friday before, so a week ago Friday, my wife and I went to see the Hail Mary project and really enjoyed that. Watched an interview with Andy Weir on Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk that was very interesting on how he um sorry, I got for some reason my music's loud today in my ears. Let me know if the background music is too loud over on Twitch. Um and an interesting discussion how he came up with, the idea of Rocky and that and how he tries to because he did The Martian. Actually, he's only written 3 books. One of them is not a movie. His first book, The Martian, was turned into a movie, and then the second book is Artemis. I don't know, not quite about the current space program. And then the Hail Mary project, which was made into a movie. Um, but it gets a stamp of approval from uh, Neil deGrasse Tyson on science, the science part. But it's hard, even with a base fact science movie, you got to have maybe a bit of some fiction in it, or else it's not really interesting to those that are maybe in the program. So those that are working on the Artemis 2 program are now going on to Artemis 3 and all that. They're because that stuff excites them. But if we were to see what they did every day, you might as well be watching someone that's working in a grocery store. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, or those people. Grocery stores are fun. I used to work with one in one as a kid, and then I grew up managing in retail. They're always interesting in that, but maybe not to the outside person. So when you make a movie about it, you got to make it interesting. You got to make it to where you want to watch it. So it can't always be maybe 100%. It's got to be stretched a little bit. Plus, when you write a book, the information that you put in that book can't always be translated to a movie, or else the movie itself was already over 2 hours long. So they had to cut out some things from the book. Some people like that, some people don't. I didn't read the book. I will probably now, I don't know if I'll read it or get the audio book. But um but I like that stuff. I mentioned before, I like science fiction. I'm not a big science fiction reader, but I like a lot of science. I watch a lot of stuff on, YouTube. And then also what kind of piques my interest, science, anti-science, the flat earthers and the moon deniers and all that stuff. Oh my God, and how they try to come up with ways to prove that they're right and the rest of the world is wrong. And the people that are following, I mean, admittedly, it's hard to walk around, hey, how can we be on a globe and not fall off or roll down or, fall off the earth at the bottom? They want to deny gravity. They want to deny that every other planet is round but Earth. And they talk about a domed Earth and the Creator, and believe what you want. I don't think we're under a serving bowl, right? I don't, I just you watch the sun and the moon travel through the skies, and it doesn't seem like a ball that's circling a flat Earth and all that. I mean, the stuff that they come up with is just with no real proof, but everybody else is lying. We should be used to that, right? I mean, it's the administration here in the United States is like everybody else is lying but them. Where do you figure out the truth? Who do you listen to these days? Where do you get your information from? Are you stuck in one bubble? Oh, every place has its bubble. It happens everywhere. Shit, just in computers, the Linux Windows, you could be in a bubble in Linux. But where you think that centuries of science and experiments and testing is just, oh, they're all lying. They're just all lying. Oh, the Artemis 2 is a balloon with a rocket attached to it. Okay. That's what they think. Oh, but that's just crazy shit. That's just crazy. Believe what you want, but it's those people that, if they push people into power, that believe in that too. You know, the conspiracy. Conspiracies can be fun until they take you down a rabbit hole. Just crazy stuff. But how do you stay normal? How do you stay, informed? I mean, I'll listen to those flat Earth views or the moon denier views. Can kind of see where they're coming from, but hey, JJ.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch. Novinha descendo na 4x4. Welcome to the mar. Cerveja gelada, piscina e churrasco. Welcome to the mar. O modão batendo no grave pesado. Novinha descendo na 4x4. Welcome to the mar.
Hello, JJ. How are you today? You can't. It's too hard. It is. It is freaking-sane, right? Just as people think that I might be insane for, not believing them.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Welcome, traveler.
Hello, Hans. Hans CCT, the pirate. He's the pirate today. What's up, broski? Thanks for joining. How you guys doing today? We're just talking, crazy shit. Where do we get our information from? How do we believe? How do we? I will admit that at times I am in a bubble, but I mean, I do try to look at the other side. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It may make sense to them. I don't know if you guys can. My microphone is my neighbor now. I was just talking about his nice electric quiet lawnmower, and now he's got a lawn service, and they show up on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. Usually they show up at 7 o'clock to mow the lawn. Those riding mowers are pretty loud. Sometimes we follow the other person because they're more charismatic. Listen to what they have to say and maybe not follow. But we have followers here in the States. But there are followers throughout the world. There's no doubt about that. But now it's just more dangerous if you don't follow the other person. It's crazy shit. Crazy shit. So, JJ, what have you been up to during the week? Been behaving yourself? Hans is always into trouble. Those Norwegians. What's the topic of today? Anything you want to talk about? I just went into I was talking about science. Was talking a little bit about the Hail Mary project, and the author Andy Weir was on Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was really interesting on what how he did his science, and then how close he is. It gets a stamp of approval from Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then I kind of segued into like flat earthers and all that weird shit, moon deniers. So not a whole lot, JJ. Yeah, we live exciting lives, don't we? And you know what I see the other week? If the Earth was really flat, cats would be knocking stuff off the edge. But it's got such a big movement. There's this one guy who lies. I mean, he just makes up stuff. He'll post pictures that he claims he got from NASA's website. And then when he's caught, well, no, they took it down already because they knew they were wrong. They were caught of fake stuff, but he just lies. You haven't met a European flat earther, only an American flat earther tourist? They're out there. They're out there. They, you know, well, look at our political climate. You know, look at what people follow. How you there's a big section. You know, but like the one flat earther, he's got over 5,000 followers, which is not a super high channel, but it's 4,200 more than I have, and I don't talk shit. JJ knows some English people that don't think the moon landings happen. Yeah, you know. And you can sit there and pick apart everything. They talk about it all being about control. And like all I kept hearing from these couple of flat earth people, what that the rocket launch was CGI. And then, well, no, there were thousands of people off of Cape Canaveral taking video and from miles away taking video. Well, they're paid actors. You know, it's just one thing after another, all not provable. So you get that about you know the moon. Computers were not that powerful then, but doesn't mean it couldn't have happened. Look at first airplanes. They barely had any gadgets and it was all fly by sight. Altimeters and all that didn't come in. Yes, the computers were basic, but they worked. Oh, you mean no CGI possible? Okay, I got you. Okay, but yeah, exactly. You know, I have not listened to any solid information from them that I believe to be true. It's just made up
Steve,
stuff.
someone has joined the chat on
Speaking of
Twitch.
space,
Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today.
what is up, Finite? Welcome. Nice to have you stop by. I figured maybe if, you know, one of these days I'd be talking about space and you'd show up. I'm doing good. How are you? You've been doing some pretty good videos lately. You are a talented man, I'll tell you. If I can do a video half as well as you, you're doing well. Very nervously released some content yesterday. Well, thank you for all your support. Thank you for all you do. You know, with your plugins and that and what they mean to people like me that have 30 plus plugins. today I'm on my Linux system, and I have 31 plugins here, and then on my Windows I have 34 because there's several of them that don't have a Linux compatibility, plugin. Yep. Well, that's so I can do stuff like you might recognize this. You might know the person that makes this stuff. Let's see. And I'm using so background removal absolutely sucks in Linux. The plugin by Roy Shillett is okay, but it uses so much power. So I actually compiled the background remover light that's out there, and it works really well. I have no drop frames with it. Yes, I'm on my EndeavourOS right now, but the plugin itself doesn't look that great. I don't want to put I stopped putting up a green screen because I started using, NVIDIA AR over on the Windows side, but I don't get that luxury on the Linux side. But here, like if I do, let's see if this works right.
Flame on!
Now I don't have my voice changed on this one. I had a weird one on the other one, but you might recognize where this stuff comes from, right? It looks noisy. Yeah, is that, it, maybe it should be called the noise filter. But I got to come up with a voice on this one. But in case, I doubt there's anybody out there that doesn't know this. But let's see. There he is. What a handsome man. Nice shout out to Finite Singularity, who is, between him and Exeldro, my God, the stuff you guys are coming up with. And I think you are genuinely, the two of you are genuinely, okay, my wife decides she wants to print now when I'm up here. And there it goes sliding off. Are inspiring, there we go, old man moment, inspiring a newer generation of plugin developers and that. So, and then I am not a developer in any way or a programmer, but I've written scripts lately that I have not done. My 10 years in Linux and even in Windows, I've used scripts that came with stuff to install things, but I never created scripts that I've done. And so on Linux, we don't have voice control. You can add voice control, but we don't have it like through SpeakerBot or StreamerBot because they use the Windows voice control. Oh, yeah. So computer, right monitor.
Here is the right monitor, boss.
I added, I used a program called Vosk that's open source and it is cross-platform, so it works on Windows, Linux, and Mac. So you can do this on that. And a bypass, it's not through StreamerBot. Because if you notice there, I don't have the voice controls over here. That's, in Linux. I'm using bottles for its wine install. But and then I don't have SpeakerBot. I have something called Speakaboo that some other developer put together that uses Piper TTS for the TTS. Computer main view.
Here is the
And of
main view
course,
boss.
that beautiful move filter from...
Here is the movie quiz game boss.
Now, I got to figure out I did something or I'm hitting something. Now, I should not have changed that. That should not have changed. So now I have to look at... I will have to look at what I done wrong. Computer main view.
Here's the main view boss.
Pick up my wife's piece of paper. So and yes, I used AI to help me because I could not do this by myself. But I've done more in the last 3 months with my Linux setup than I've ever done before. As far as what, because I streamed on Linux for like 7 years, 8 years, and I just got tired of the workarounds. And then Windows just worked. Everything that I install, I know people don't like Windows and all that, but everything for streaming, between StreamerBot, all that, it just works. But I was determined to get things to work and get it to as close to a Windows environment with my streaming. So voice control was a big part. Did I need voice control? No. Can't I just press a button? Finite says, I know the feel. I ran a Linux box for a decade. I loved it, but at the same time, it consistently felt like a bit of an uphill battle. Not OBS in particular. This was before your OBS times came. And, add that I'm on an Arch-based system. So like the normal installs for the main supported platform is on Ubuntu. And that's where you will get your closer windows to like streaming experience in OBS. And like you and Xeldro and quite a few developers now are making their plugins for Linux too. You don't think Arch was even existed back then? Yeah. I never thought that I would be on an Arch system. But I know there's caveats with rolling releases, but at least the stuff is a little bit more up to date. And we have some other issues in Linux as far as streaming goes with the new Wayland Windows Manager and replacing X11 and some things not working well. Like you can't get custom docks if you're on a Wayland environment, which means that you also can't use VSTs. So I have to come up with other ways to use VSTs. Do rolling releases get annoying sometimes then? Yeah, it does. Endeavor, I'm on the GNOME desktop, and Endeavor just released last week, or almost 2 weeks ago, the GNOME 50 desktop, which seemed to have screwed up OBS for a short time until I did an update. I think there was a screw up with Mutter. Yeah, a lot of gamers have moved over to Linux according to Steam. And then, my God, these new people coming over to Linux that don't know OBS or Linux. Look at the forum. Oh my God, the Discord forum. I feel for those. But I don't use the Flatpak because of the 30 plugins that I use, only 15 are in a Flatpak. I might learn I was going to reach out to you and Exeldro. I know you've done a couple years in a flat pack, or either that or I know there's a flat pack builder. I don't know what's involved. But also in a flat pack, even though it's the other official version for Linux, for OBS, things like doing this, the tuna player, it's not in the flat pack because of the tie-in with like VLC and that. Now it used to not be in there, it just didn't have the tie-in. Now there's no plugin for it. So music on the stream, like this, a few of you are in a flat pack, yeah, and it takes time to figure out. So I don't know if that's taking up more than I can choose, but I use the AUR version, the Arch User Repository, over on the OBS Discord. Titan642, who was one of the big helpers over there in the Linux side. Woohoo! And again, if you're listening, if you're on YouTube, you're not going to hear any music. You got to come over to Twitch. If you don't like music in the background, stay over on YouTube. Sometimes you won't know what we're talking about. And and all this stuff that I'm doing, I'm going to be 70 this year, believe it or not. But yeah, I'm doing this stuff. But I do it to help keep my mind going. Yeah, no, not a lie. Not a lie. The body feels 80, I tell you. With my back and all that. But yeah, I've been up to the challenge. So also, I created a script that starts, so for streaming, just like my oldest just turned 17. Yeah, mine's 30. He's going to be 31 this year. I like my dad, I had kids late in life, or a kid late in life. My dad there were 4 of us. But I'm in that mindset, right? I'm in that worried mindset. My dad didn't make it to his 70th birthday. But I don't, he had lymphoma and we don't know where it came from, it just ate him up. But one of the plugins I use over on the Windows side is Auto Starter, and it's only for Windows, but it will start all the programs you need it. So I have it start StreamerBot, SpeakerBot, Touch Portal, Social Stream Ninja, and YouTube Music. Well, now I have that. I have a script that auto starts StreamerBot, auto bottles. There is a program called Speakaboo, which is kind of like a drop-in replacement for SpeakerBot. Doesn't do everything that SpeakerBot does, but it has the WebSocket. When StreamerBot sees it, it thinks it's SpeakerBot because of the WebSocket server, and it's got UDP server. And then it uses Piper TTS for its voices. So we have all these Onyx voices that we can use. They're a lot more responsive than like the Sappy 5s out of SpeakerBot because it uses the Windows stuff, or even more responsive than using the AI voices out of Google and all that. So now I have a script that starts up SpeakerBot, Speakaboo, Touch Portal, Social Stream Ninja, and YouTube Music. And then when they're all started through Speakaboo, the system, it tells me everything is started. Because I can't use VSTs in a Wayland environment because you can't open those windows up to set up VSTs. I have to use a program on Linux called Easy Effects for voice changes. So now if I go in and I do my hologram, where are you? And I have two tablets here as my decks, and one of them is just connected to the StreamerBot decks. No X11 and GNOME 50. No, I haven't used X11 in over a year now, a year and a half. Which then would allow that stuff to work, but where's my right here? So we'll see if this works. So now it should have changed my voice. And yes, it's on a hologram. And you might recognize stuff too. Although I gotta make some adjustments. I don't want this like diamond pattern here. I think I changed some things. Yes, directional effects. And thankfully over the AUR, I think Titan packages up a lot of the plugins. But and then it should have gone back to normal. And that's all done, yeah, and that's all done. So I don't have VSTs, so I can't get the filters. I can't turn those filters on and off. And I still have to work on. I don't think this normal voice that I have sounds really good. Easy Effects is I don't know if you've ever seen Easy Effects before. I'll show it in just a second. But you can create different profiles of it. And where Easy Effects is actually used to create better sound, you can use it to distort sound in that. And it's all by ear, it's just like how it sounds. Like I also got
the Matrix and the Matrix voice. This actually one was easy to build. But instead of using StreamerBot to trigger filters, because I got StreamerBot in bottles, which is kind of like it just makes it easy to install StreamerBot on Linux in a Windows environment. I actually have write the
file. So scripts don't work. Linux scripts don't work through StreamerBot. I tried that. It won't trigger, no matter what I do, it won't trigger a bash script. So I have my voice profiles. I have a bash script for each of the voice profiles to change in the system. What I do have for those scenes, like the hacker and the Matrix and the hologram, I have StreamerBot write to a file, and pretty much I just put it where it will write the word hologram.
Flame on!
And I gotta come up. I had a weird voice over in the Windows for this. I gotta come up, for a voice for this. I guess I can use like a version of the hacker voice, because I'm burning up, burning alive. So anyway, StreamerBot will write the file. I have a script now on the Linux side that watches those files, and if they see a change, it triggers the bash script to change my voice. I'm like, this is shit that I've not done, and it seems to be working. And then I got it set up on my touch portal that it'll just run those bash scripts, and I can
can go to a baby voice just by pressing a button. So I got a baby voice created. But the buttons don't like dimmer that or say activate it the way that touch portal has it in Linux. So I don't always see my voice change. So what I do is I have system. Let's see up here. System notification tells me the voice has changed. So now if I go back,
Easy Effects, you are now back to normal. And so that's all the stuff that I've been really, really doing in that. Easy Effects is basically an audio program that you can do all sorts of presets. So you can make profiles for them and save it. But you have a lot of effects that you can add. But figuring out what these effects do it's really hard. So it's just a like whatever sounds right. Oh, I gotta adjust my. I gotta move my flash over. That came out pretty good. So that's what I was working on. Now I just got to move my flash over. I forgot to move that over when I was changing it yesterday. So, yeah, all the profiles I have. So I have baby, hacker, hologram, my normal, robot, and TV. So, problem was when I go to robot voice, and I don't hear it. I don't have monitor on, so I don't hear my voice changing. But I tried this robot voice, and I don't know, the last time I ran it, the only way that I can really test these out is that I record them. Because it is so weird to listen to yourself as you set these things up, and you end up talking like that. But the robot voice, and then I did a retro TV for my TV effect, was picking up some kind of noise to it, and I can't figure out where that was coming from. So that's a lot of the stuff that that I've been working on. And if I can do it, anybody can.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello, Thailand.
Hello, Donnie. Thank you so much. Nice comment. You can dream on, but thank you very much. Appreciate it. My weekend's going pretty good. Temp job. We had a lot of rain this week. Couple big storms. It's been in the mid 70s or about 24 C or so. And now it's cold. It's back down to under 50 Fahrenheit. But going back, this is pretty much StreamerBot as you see on Linux, but there is no voice command in there because there's no Windows. I think you can maybe try to get it into the bottles or the wine environment, but it doesn't really work. And then SpeakerBot really doesn't work. But because of the dark theme, before, like the drop down boxes, this was all dark. You couldn't read any of this. And it was easy to fix with bottles or in a wine environment. You can use the registry edit. And I just changed it. For some reason, it's set up to a dark color. Oh, I thank you, Donnie. I'm not a goat. We do have a goat in the room. We have Finite Singularity, who is the well, he's a partner goat. Him and Exeldro, who makes a lot of the plugins that I use. But yeah, there's definitely changes from when you come over to Linux from Windows and trying to figure out what you do. No, Exeldra is the goat. I'm just an imposter. No. Your baby goat? I know some of the stuff that Exeldra has been coming up with is just. Well, we started talking about we were getting into space a little bit. I'd been talking about just things that was happening during the week and things that I was watching. Like I'm doing a rewatch of Battlestar Galactica, the reboot from 2004, and how well it stands up today. And yes, we were talking about flat Earth. I am not that person. I'm not a flat earther. I just find that on that's a stupidity thing. Um, what did I say about flat earthers though? Flat earthers, the only thing that the flat earthers fear is fear itself. All that stuff is for clicks and money. Clicks and money. Let me know if you're seeing ads over on Twitch. I know on YouTube you won't. But yeah, it depends, I think, on where you are in the world or what you have on, if you have Twitch Turbo. Just so I can add a quarter to my every hour. Every hour. But yeah, so we were just talking about space, and then I went in because of finite singularity, and I was showing a lot of the stuff that I do on my Linux setup here, which I know doesn't excite a lot of people, but I'm just impressed by myself of the scripts that I've written, and how I can get my system on Linux to be pretty close to what I have on Windows. If I can get voice changes to work better. You can get voice changers that will work in Linux, but then having them, I guess my next step would be able to look to see if I can do a script to change the voices. But the things that I have done, I have not done in my 10 years work, with being in Linux. And as far as like computers and that, I'm all self-taught. I had my first computer in 1989. My brother-in-law sold me a IBM 186, a matrix printer, a CRT monitor. It had a 5.25-inch floppy, and I think a 20 megabyte hard drive. And the rest is history. So, Steve, here's the $1 million question. Do I need a drum roll? When's the karaoke stream? Is there a hydrate channel redeem? No. I I find the hydrate one a little weird. I'm not as good as Finite in trying to get, although I have to follow his video that he just released on doing background videos. I'm always dehydrating. I always got my coffee. So when's the karaoke stream, Donnie? Well, I find that the karaoke stream doesn't work well because everybody that's listening turns the volume down. Yeah, it was, I have a couple of, not background. I think I can have doo, 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 doo. I mean, I've done simple stuff like this. Boo! Yesterday's video was a nerve-wracking one. I'll have to check it out. What'd you make? What'd you do this time? Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. So I used to have ones that show up in the background a little bit, but oh, it's an opinion piece? Here, I don't know. Let's see if this one will work. No. My fonts doesn't work. I think I know. I tried to do background ones. Let's see, where is it? Fix this here. There he is. See, I recorded that one. I was too close to the camera because I did that one with green screen behind me, and I couldn't get if I got too close to the green screen, then I was too dark, the lighting and all that. But now that I have, on the Windows side, I have the NVIDIA a background remover. I've used that on some videos to remove, like this one where I have a guy stare. I found this on Pexels, and he was in the foreground. I just thought it would be a weird one to have, but I used the NVIDIA background remover to do that. The stare guy, yeah, is that the one, or the one with me going, hey? Oh, the fans. Hey, I'm too big back there. But I'm not. I got like this background remover. This is the background remover light that actually. This one barely touches my CPU and doesn't drop frames per second at all. But I can't. It's not real easy to adjust. Because I don't want to. Because I have a green screen, green sheet that goes across this whole back wall. But then putting it up all the time and all that, No, I don't. So basically, this is my setup. Why is that in the way here? That's my turntable. I just have 3 monitors. I do use a laptop, but that laptop is monitoring the stream up there. There we go. So that monitors the stream. YouTube on one side, Twitch on the other. Then I use 2 tablets. One is for Touch Portal, and one is this is my older Galaxy S tablet that runs Android 7 on it. But I can get the browser up, and so I use the StreamerBot browser deck. The middle monitor I made out of a laptop. So I just bought a LV, what is it? Finite LVDS controller, LSVD controller. The monitor's from a old Asus G73 Gamer of Republic laptop. It's a 17.5-inch monitor. So that's where like the chat and that goes. And then this is a 25-inch monitor. This is a 27-inch monitor, both HP. My microphone is Fifine 620. I've had this now for several years, and it works. Well, my wife says that I'm on the Enterprise here. And then I got my 2 LEDs lights there, and then I have 2 that are reflecting off the back wall, the closet doors. And then I have 2 cameras, or 3 cameras actually. So in the middle here, you can barely see it. So I use a Samsung S8 with Droid Cam. You just use the 32-inch 4K. And the prompter monitor would be nice to have a monitor. It does. Once you do this, and then I have a right cam. So I have this cam here where you can see the Fat Man, and another version. And at times I'll have it poked out the window if it's snowing out or something like that. Like I said, I use Droid Cam as my main monitor, main camera. But yeah, I mean, I am going to come into another monitor. My father-in-law passed away a few weeks back, and I had a computer set up for him so he can do solitaire and all that. Well, his wife, my stepmother-in-law, she uses her iPad, and she goes, "Steve, we don't need that computer anymore." She goes, and it's an IBM workstation that you usually see in businesses and that. My brother-in-law used to work in networking in the hospitals, and when they would upgrade their computers, if they were throwing them out or whatever, they would let him take them, and then he would refurbish them. So I did that, but did that for my father-in-law, so he could have something. But I could just see my wife. I tried to set up another monitor here. Oh my God. I don't think I bought the best of arms, because I can't push the monitors back. I got them kind of angled a little bit. I put my CPU on my desktop here. It's relatively quiet. Never an issue, because it was always getting dust laden late on the close to the floor. But every once in a while, my wife will say, "Do you need anything for your stream?" And if I was, oh, you like the coffee? Yeah, coffee's my thing. I got a lot of coffee t-shirts. Finite's got a lot of NASA t-shirts. I have the coffee t-shirts. But I'm not I mean, I part of the affiliate program. I never been fully monetized before. I've gotten donations and that. In fact, my desk was built with donations that I had gotten. I always feel, I never felt right about asking for money or anything like that, so I don't. I did have a t-shirt store. I through Spring Tea or Teespring. I gotta leave. I left them. I had a bunch of Linux. I did my Sunday coffee clutch used to be a Sunday Linux coffee clutch, and I did that for a number of years. And talk about Linux, and it would have guests on and things like that. I got a kind of out of the guest thing and really talking a lot about Linux. If you've been in Linux, it's exciting. I'm doing cool stuff right now, but all the stuff that's out there and people talk about, I just got tired of talk about a bubble. Sometimes the Linux community is in a big bubble. But I had just like simple T-shirts, the Linux Sunday Coffee Clutch and that, and didn't make a whole lot. But I think I got up to about I made about $150. Say, well, like a dummy, I didn't take it out right away, and didn't read the fine print in the terms of agreement. And if you don't sell nothing for a year, they start taking out $25 a month. For what? You have no product. They make the product. The website, that's bull. But Spring Tea was bought out. I forget who they're with. Amaze, I think they're with. They're now just called the Spring Store. Yeah, I can't find. I can't. I deleted. I deleted all the product that I made. I made new product. But I'm like, I've got to leave these. They won't even let me delete my account because they want me to tell them when I sold my first product and which one it was. We're talking going back to 2022, not that long ago. They don't have that information. It's not on my website, my control panel. They don't keep that old stuff. And they went through a couple of purchases in that. But yeah, I have to come up with the day that I sold my first product and what it was for them to fully delete my account. Isn't that bullshit? My God. So I figured my channel's not even closely big. It's growing again now. It's growing more on Twitch, which has been my. Was there an email confirmation? I went through. Well, I had to send in. They gave me a online form to fill out, and if I can't put in the information of when that stuff was sold, they're not going to do. No, if I had it, I never thought about saving that stuff. So yeah. So any new streamer out there and the Spring by Amaze, stay away from them. I've gotten offers from two places to where they would actually send me product. Spring also, you had to pay for your product. You wouldn't have to pay the cost. You just have to pay the cost. But these other places will give you product to show off.
Someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello.
It's the dancing Canadian captain. DJ 506, how you doing, bud? So yeah, my bad. I should have taken it out, but I didn't think about it. Figured when I need it, and then when it was there, but I was waiting because I was going to do more with my desk and that I bought out, that I purchased. You're good, just enjoying the rainy day? Yeah, because you're in northeast Canada, and I think that storm was that we had yesterday or the day before. Gee, why does he come up every time someone mentions DJ 506? I don't know. I don't get it. But right now, I don't feel my channel is big enough to get to add some more like clothing stuff. I come up with some good ideas. What I thought. Did I save any pictures? I don't know. Oops. Let me see. Do I have it? But the only other merch you make is, other than stickers, is Yeti tumblers from your logo. They're way too expensive. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is expensive. I was surprised back in the day. I'll say back in the day when I had the Linux content but I had a pretty decent following back then. Mm, I don't. I thought I had saved. Boom, 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 boom. Took a picture. I like the ball cap that I had with my new logo. And like I said, I deleted everything. I should have saved pictures of it. But I made some stickers and hats and, just logos that go on t-shirts and such. And no, I know I got it saved somewhere. It might be on my Windows drive. But you made a merch store and you're the best customer? Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, it's nice when, people buy your stuff. But yeah, spring tea.
Someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Oh,
Hey, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today.
Boom so much. What's up, Boom? Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. So, finite. So, Boom. If not many seem to be joining on Twitch today, but if I send, I mean, everybody's joining on YouTube. Anybody on YouTube today?
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, I just blew myself up. Where did I go? What the heck? Thanks, Nate. What killed my... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got boomed. I'm talking about boom so much, and I got boomed. Did my... Oh. What is going on? No, camera's still on. I just moved my... So Cubicle Nate is a big Linux user. All right. Where did... this is whatever this is. I don't know what this is. Let me. Camera's still on. I think I have to adjust. I think I have to adjust my fart command. No, no, my thing's gonna be off. I'm back. I have a scene where my camera shrinks, and I don't know why that filter was triggered. So what I started saying, someone has to stress break your. I do enough of that. So anyway, so finite. What I started saying was, because of Boom, YouTube and Twitch can talk to each other in the chat. So think about that. My multi-chat capture is through StreamerBot. What you see at the bottom, that's Nutty's vertical chat. I have a Steve Reno robot and a SVO bot that at my name that I block out of the chat. Yeah, it was, and it was so simple too.
Someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Hello.
Ad Tech Ad Talk. He's on the wrong account. Okay. So DJ says the fine night. I almost reached out to you in Exelder last week. I was having a lot of video issues. Yeah. And no, what was bad was OBS people were ignoring
someone
him.
has joined the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
There's the Boom. Is this to reel you now? Yep, and I've been using it since what I think almost a year now. And no Twitch YouTube problems. But it's been great because for some reason I can't get a lot of the YouTube people to come over to Twitch. Because I've been aiming at Twitch being my main platform now. Whatever, wherever you want to watch, I'm not going to go to Kick or any of that other stuff. Screw that. Twitch and YouTube are going to be enough for me. But now people are able to talk back and forth to Twitch. Some of them don't know where it comes from, But yeah, it's the Boom so much integration. I'm going to have to do a video of all the people that directly, indirectly have helped me. Nate's amazed I have 30 plus plugins that I use. I don't know if 30 plus applications on my desktop computer. computer, left monitor.
Yeah,
So
it's the
here's the
left monitor boss.
plugin manager. I think I know who's been working on this. So I have Advanced Scene Swisher, Tuna, Source Record, Phantasm Web Waveform, OBS Text pthread, because there is no GDI text in Linux. They do have text freestyle, but a pthread is pretty cool. OBS Teleport, the OBS Stroke Glow and Shadow, OBS Shadow Filter, the OBS Retro Effects, OBS Noise, the OBS Multi TMP. I use this over Atom's multi-stream because I have issues with Atom. I don't know what it is. The OBS Composite Blur, OBS Background Removal, which I'm gonna remove. This one uses a lot of resources, but I compiled the OBS Background Remover Lite, which works almost a little bit better, at least resource-wise. The OBS Advanced Mask. Here it is, the Live Background Remover Lite. I add Linux Pipewire audio so I can have selections of audio sources, like in the Windows setup. I got 3D Effect. I got Source Switcher, Source Dock, Source Copy. Source Copy is a great way to actually save your a scene or something like that, and you can send it to somebody else. Source Clone, the other great clone, that I have. If you use a camera but you want to use it in multiple scenes, Source Clone is the way to go. Scene's Transition, which I don't use a whole lot. The Scene Collection Manager, Scale to Sound, Recursion Effect, the Move Transition, the Gradient Source, the Freeze Filter, Droid Cam, Downstream Keyer, and Browser Transition. Yeah, the Source Transition plugin was in there, but I don't see it to use that much. Yeah, so I use the multiple output RMTP for some reason. I mean, the reason why I like the multiple is because I have auto start. So I use Advanced Scene Switcher to auto start my stream. So if I go to my one stream up here, or my one scene, Get Ready, anytime I click on that and I have Advanced Scene Switcher running, I immediately start streaming to YouTube and Twitch. I don't pre-set up anything on YouTube anymore because I just use the key. I just go streaming. And if I do want to not stream to Twitch, all I got to do is uncheck the sync start and the sync stop. And then this is where, like, my audio mixer, you don't hear any music on YouTube because I don't have that on that second thing, the channel. So does the system crash once in a while? Well, not the system, but OBS. Yeah. I had a problem a couple weeks ago where no matter what, OBS kept crashing. Getting into the new audio monitor, you can get your properties in that there, but if you want to get to the more custom, like the advanced audio properties, you now have to click on the gear down here to get to it. Oh. You see on YouTube Music here, I leave the second channel unchecked. If I would click on that, then you would start hearing music on YouTube and I'd be copyrighted like crazy. Oh, source transition? I'm also, I am, because I am on Arch Linux, I am limited in a way to the plugins that I can get. I got Sinus transition, but I don't have source transition. Oh, it's a new. I am limited until I really learn how to compile. All these years on Linux, and I've never really done compiling myself. The plugins, because others will take Finite's, say Finite's and Exeldros plugin and have it all set up to be compiled on Arch Linux. Okay, so it's a Windows only so far, Mac and Linux pending, but I literally just posted it and haven't shared it around. So okay, that's what I figured. A lot more developers are doing it for Linux. That's been really cool. It's been great that like Finite and Exeldro have been doing it for a while. And I'm using kind of like a unofficial version of Linux, even though the I won't say the developer of the OBS, but the guy that packages OBS for the AUR, it's the OBS Studio Titan 642 package you want to look for. He's got browser sort. You don't have to add a lot of extra stuff into it. It's very close to the Windows version or what you would get out of the on Ubuntu for OBS. But I actually kind of compiled my first plugin yesterday. And that was the background remover light. But let me see something. So earlier. Yeah, I gotta change. Hello, I gotta change. I'll be like, boom, I'm in the corner here. Oh, what? So I'm gonna have to disable that for right now. Let's see. So I have it to where I fart and I gotta bounce off my chair, right? And the settings are off. So I just did this one. I was been working on this one. And I haven't tested it live yet. No. That's my new zap. Gotta get the timing a little bit better so it's not so jerky at the end. You like how you beta test your scenes on us? Well, I got to make sure that the commands work. See, like with Twitch, Twitch is always connected to StreamerBot, so I can use Twitch chat without being live. You can't do that on YouTube. And I wish YouTube would really improve on their live streaming stuff. The chat is absolutely horrible compared to Twitch's chat, especially if I'm on a tablet. And to auto reply or do an automatic reply on YouTube, you have to type in the complete name properly of that user you want to reply to. And that floating heart thing that I got, I take that, you won't see that on my channel. I removed that because it does nothing. All it does is show in the chat. Whereas if you send emojis with Twitch, what is that called on YouTube? The response. But yeah, the Twitch Women API is so much better than YouTube. I mean, that's why, I really, once I got into streaming on Twitch, I realized that how much better it is for streamers that do this, and the stuff that you could do using StreamerBot. And then if you don't like StreamerBot, you can use Sammy or something like that. Yeah. So, but I guess I do have to fix. I don't know why my my fart stuff didn't work. So this guy comes up with Nate and DJ 506. A little Star Trek in the Kelvin timeline. When they finally get that ship off the cliff, when they're gonna go, when they're attacking those alien drones before the space station. But yeah, a lot of times though, Nate, I see things that work, but then it doesn't really help if I don't see it live.
My spidey sense is tingling.
No, you don't. Oh, ow. Always slipping that in. This is for you, DJ. Girl like you before. I always love this song. Here in Chicago, we have a radio station, WXRT, that plays a good eclectic, of music, and they'll play a lot of stuff. How about the second Charlie's Angels movie? When the battle with Debbie Moore and the girls. And I think this is like a one-hit wonder kind of. Who heard anything else by Edwyn Collins? I tell a story when I went for an MRI. I went from an MRI on my back, which are when you're getting your back done, you get really shoved in that tube. And the technician asked me what kind of music I liked listening to. I said, whatever you put on. I said, I'm pretty eclectic. And he looks at me and says, funny, you don't look Irish. But let me open my task list. You know what? I'm charging you guys each time. Charging DJ every time he puts he posts. I think I should change that. Add that to my to-do list. Yeah, who made this redeem? The government? It's a Canadian tax. So I got just the flash. Well, I gotta add my sound back to that. My Star Trek door opening sound to the task list going up and down. But yeah, I know I started making a comment earlier that I'm gonna have to do a video that where I let everybody know where I got my ideas from and who has indirectly, directly have helped me, who has responded well. I mean, it's a excuse me, it's a pretty good community that from just like one little thing like what Boom so much has done between the sending text between the two Twitch and YouTube, or because the API is so so tight on YouTube, I actually have to in order to shout out people on YouTube, I have to do it differently than on Twitch. And Bearded Ink helped me with that. I create a global environment. So if I go to my right monitor, I have global. Come on, where is it? I have persistent global variables that capture from Twitch. I'm sorry, capture from YouTube the proper user. I have it grabs it. So if I do a shout out on to do basically this helps me where with Twitch they don't have to be in a room to do a shout out. You can't do that with YouTube. But with I keep all these global variables. These are all the people that have joined me over time on Twitch, on YouTube. And the main one the two thing that I'm looking for, just go back up to the top. So like this is this HTTP, this is the where the image of their channel is found, and then this is their name, but this is how I have to type it in. If it makes sense. So Bearded Ink helped me collect that information so I could do proper shout outs on YouTube. But you gotta type it just right. And there's a shout out to Boom. And then one for Cubicle Nate. Sorry, Nate, I disabled the fart command because it wasn't working right. I have to fix it. But you know, it's guys like Boom Simons, Bearded Ink, Finite Singularity, Exeldro, oh, God, and then Tommy and Pony and all the guys from StreamerBot, and then Captain Speakeasy, and oh, Mustache Maniac. Yeah, I don't know why my movement has gotten screwed up, but it's shoving me off the screen. I disappear. So, and I'd fix it in front of you guys. I'm gonna have to get off in a little bit. My wife is gonna be going to work, and I want to say goodbye to her before she goes. So, I mean, this is I really like doing this. I really like talking to you guys and having people join me. And the things that I learn, and hopefully can also now share this with others. I am not always the best teacher. I don't always talk the best. I don't always do a lot of things. Yeah, I'll say goodbye in a minute. You'll know when I say goodbye. Yeah, let me fix this one. I'm going to remove this one command. Hold on 1 second. Thought that'd be funny at first, having a couple, something show up when everybody's, when a certain person is in the stream, but it gets kind of annoying after a while, doesn't it? And I didn't realize it was going to be charging. But anyway. Steve Zerion, if you are in here, let's highlight this. Oh yeah, and then I make stuff. I created my own highlight. I don't use Social Stream Ninja. If you're in the streets today, that DJ Troy is having a partner celebration at 4 p.m. Eastern. I think he's going to go for 12 hours. Oh. Got to pound on the ceiling then. But I created that with HTML, CSS. This is created with HTML, CSS. This is created with HTML, CSS. And yes, I do use AI. but you got to use it properly. I was busting Gemini's chops the other day. Now, yes, if you have the paid version, you're going to have the higher tier of these chat bots, which with programming may help more. But if you use it, you kind of have to know what you're asking it, right? And realize that it's not going to come up with 100% what you want, because it's going by your input. And if you don't know, it's not going to give you what you want. Well, I was looking, it still hallucinates Google Gemini Pro. Well, so background removal in Linux kind of sucks. You can't use the NVIDIA SDK stuff, the AR, to move the background removal and all that, even though I have a RTX 4060. You might be able to get it installed, but there's like this long process of going through NVIDIA and all that to try to get it, because it's on the Linux side, it's called the NVIDIA SDK Marine, or the Marine SDK, which is their version for Linux, which is basically designed for Ubuntu systems, but I'm sure you can get it to work on Arch. But anyway, so I'm asking these questions. Oh, I was about the background removal, and that for some reason the background removal plugin wasn't picking up my RTX card. It was running on the CPU, and it would double CPU usage when I would run it and drop frame rate 20, 30 frames per second. And it would tell me to install something through the AUR. Well, I always look first. I bring up the AUR and I put it in there. I can't find the packages it's talking about. And every suggestion it was making was not in the AUR. And if I didn't know enough to look, and I tried installing that stuff, and that, I would aggravate myself, but it's like, it's not there. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. I was thinking of something else, but and then would tell me again, So you have to kind of ask it right, or know it, or kind of know what you want.
Here is the right monitor bus.
Why did that change? Why did that? I didn't ask it to change. All right, what else is happening? But I use it, and then I created the stuff, and then I know how to change it. I'm pretty good at like figuring out a bit HTML and CSS where to change it, that how to create it. I like, especially with JavaScript and doing the actions and that's still a trial for me, but it's kind of helped me create some things for myself. So I need to spill coffee. My wife would kill me. But I my final little these people that go for like are now DJ, when you put in like DJ did not get responded correctly by the OBS team when he was posting his stuff. I was reading chat at the time. I look at it every day to see what's going on, mainly to look at some of the stupid people that never used OBS before, don't know what Windows system they're on, don't know about their computer, and they want help right now. So they were dealing with a lot of that in the chat in the OBS Discord forum when DJ posted his thing. I think his was more important, and he put it down correctly and all his issues and all that. these people go in and they know nothing about OBS and they want you to babysit them, or they don't know what computer they're on, what system they have. That, it just baffles my mind sometimes when I see that kind of stuff. But I've been thinking about doing like an opinion piece too about that, and I've talked about it on my stream, but I haven't made any videos about it, about what you need to do. Even in Windows, I'm not like your super OBS person, but I know enough to ask questions properly or research it. Yeah, some of them lack basic computer knowledge, but then try to run a stream that has the bells and whistles. Yeah. What do you mean I can't? I'm on a laptop and I can't record 4K and a game and stream at the same time? I mean, unless you got my son's Omen HP, HP Omen with a 3050 in it and, an i13 and all this other stuff. 64 gigs of memory. The laptop I have, can run OBS, but very basically, if I put one plugin on that, it's using about 80% CPU usage. But everybody's so used to tablets and things like that that are just all set up to do things. I don't know. But my point, I'm kind of rambling on here. My point was that the people in these forums have been doing it for a while, and they are doing it on their own time. They don't get paid for this, right? And that they know pretty much what they're doing. And I have seen in the last week at least 2 posters telling them they didn't know what they're doing because they got their answers from the person posting the question was also using Claude, and then telling that OBS person that they're wrong. But then they can't get the shit to work with Claude, right? You're wrong. That's not the problem. Claude says it's this. Well, then why hasn't Claude helped you? Why hasn't Gemini? Why hasn't ChatGPT? Ay, 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 ay. And I give those OBS people a lot of kudos for not losing their cool. Every once in a while I say, fine, if you don't want to listen to my answer, I'm not helping you anymore. And then they start pinging other people. I know a lot of times it's a language barrier because they want you to post in English in the forum and no DMs or anything like that, just strictly in that forum. And if you speak another language, you got to use a translator. So I know there's sometimes a language barrier there. But I can tell also a lot of these are kids that are telling people that know what they're doing that they don't know what they're doing. I give those people in OBS a lot of kudos for that, for dealing with that day in and day out, for giving their free time to helping people. And then when someone like DJ needed some help, his kind of get, and his question kind of gets overshadowed by these people that are sucking up the air there. But are the people in OBS always right? That might be a thing, but I think they know more than others. If they tell you something's not going to work, there's got to be a way. I'm on a computer. The computer should be able to do that. It's like watching CSI when they take a picture of a license plate that's all blurry, and then they make this high def image of it. They use a computer to fix it. It's getting better, but that shit has never been for a real thing. Well, what do you mean my computer's too old? I haven't used this in 5 years. But anyway. All right, that's enough of my bitching. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna do a kind of opinion piece. I want to start doing videos again myself, to kind of boost my stream up a little bit. But yeah. So I think I am gonna say goodbye, so I can say goodbye to my wife for the day. And I appreciate everybody that joined today. This was great. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So with that, computer, time to say goodbye.
Thank you all for stopping by.
So JJ, Hans, Finite, Donnie, DJ506, Boom so much, Cubicle Nate, at TikTok, Boom. Boom so much twice, yay. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. It's been a really nice day today. These Sundays have been going really well. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for helping me. I can't thank it enough. It's great. So I will be back on Tuesday. For Tux Tuesday, we'll see if we can get the fart stuff for Nate fixed again. And then Wednesday for whatever Wednesday. Thursday for GeoGuessr, which has been fun. That's been really good. And then back to next Sunday for